Well, hi everybody. I can't see you, but really excited to present a little bit about what we're working on over here at the SL5 task force. My name is Lisa Thiergart, and I'm the director of this effort. My background previously was being a research lead at the MIRI technical governance team, and before that, I was an AI safety researcher at MATS. And before that, I actually worked in brain-computer interfaces. So super great to be connecting with this audience that is covering topics across this entire spectrum. And I'd also love to introduce my co-lead on this project, Philip J. Reiner. Philip is currently the CEO of IST, the Institute for Security and Technology, which is the organization hosting our project. And his previous experience includes like decades of experience working in security and also working for the government, including as a senior director on the National Security Council under the Obama administration. So just a couple sentences about what is IST about? It's a critical action think tank, which means we're a nonprofit organization housing researchers who are focusing across a range of topics or in the areas of AI and cybersecurity. So, ranging from the geopolitics of technology all the way over to thinking about the challenges posed by catastrophic risk from these systems. And the SL5 task force is a relatively new initiative that just kicked off earlier this year. We are about 40 people at the moment, and we are an industry-focused effort to roadmap and prototype what it would take for the US frontier AI labs to be equipped with the optionality to deploy security level 5. So what is security level 5? This is actually a term that RAND came up with last year, and it's a categorization of levels of security that the AI lab could be at. And security level 5 means you're defended against attacks from other nation states. So for example, China would have a hard time attacking you. And we're currently in a 3-month technical design sprint where we're working out what an initial draft, an initial tech stack would look like in order to have these kinds of defenses in place. And I wanted to emphasize that we think it's really important that solutions in this space, when it comes to security, are open sourced and developed for public benefit, because we think it's really important to be lifting up the entire industry and not just one frontier company. So to that end, we are trying to create the space for collaboration between security researchers at multiple of these frontier labs, as well as RAND, and also security experts from the US intelligence community. So I'm just going to start by introducing a few key terms, talking about threat models briefly. Why do we actually even want to try to secure all of that? How is that benefiting, avoiding concentration of power? And at the end, also giving a brief overview over what needs to happen to reach security level 5 and giving a short preview into one of the prototypes we're developing. So just very basics, model weights are huge matrices, currently mostly stored inside data centers, also a little bit on AI lab developer computers. And the term security levels comes from RAND. Like I mentioned earlier, security level 5 means you're able to thwart top priority operations from the global top cyber capable nations. And for comparison, security level 1 would be that you can be defended against amateur attempts, like a high school hacker who is very capable, for example. Unfortunately, currently most AI labs are actually around top end of SL2, maybe just reaching SL4. So they're pretty far away from SL5 at the moment. And there are even some that have not really invested very much in security and are currently more at SL1, maybe SL2. So where are we at today? Maybe some of you guys have seen AI 2027. This was pretty big on Twitter recently and is one really detailed forecast of what the future might look like with regards to when and how we reach human level capabilities of AI. They predict that this might be only about 2 years away, reaching us in 2027. And they think it's possible that superintelligence may follow soon after. In contrast, I think just actually 2 Thursdays ago, there was a new milestone in AI capabilities for cyber. And specifically O3, one of OpenAI's reasoning models, was used to discover a 0-day in the Linux kernel. This was, until this point, actually considered quite a new bar of capabilities that many people considered to be the point at which they thought, okay, wow, now we really need to start paying attention to this. And Really, I think this goes to show we're not on track to have the optionality for security level 5 before we get to AGI. So why is this actually that important? For one, theft of model weights is pretty dangerous from the perspective of once these are stolen, the safety fine-tuning can be very easily removed. And it is now possible for anybody who has stolen these weights to deploy the model in a secure way, whatever, in an insecure way, whatever their intentions may be. And we have very limited ability to defend at that point. Secondly, the theft of algorithmic secrets. So for example, the special knowledge on how to fine-tune a model really well, or how to do training more cheaply, is also currently, unfortunately, very easy. And this can expose you to sabotage attacks and also can accelerate R&D on a potential adversary AI project. Of course, loss of control risks and sabotage are also very big concerns here. For example, data poisoning can lead to a model being following a distribution and creating the outputs that favors particular companies or parties more so than is in fact true. So what does it actually take to get to SL5 if this is so important? Why aren't we doing it already? Well, it's really, really hard. And for the most part, the AI companies are kind of startups that have wildly scaled up over the past years. So they're not working in the kind of like security stack that you would want to see for this kind of technology. They don't have the capacity. And also for context, SL5 is a really high bar. It might mean air gapping your data centers. One important principle is also the more complex your system, the more attack surface you have. So really what it takes to reach SL5 is radically reducing complexity. A lot of actors need to work together to make this happen, and a lot of components need to go right. There's supply chain security. The chips are often produced, I think, in Taiwan these days, and there's a lot that needs to happen before it arrives here to the US or somewhere else. Physical security of the data center, info and cybersecurity, and also personnel security. How can you make sure your staff aren't leaking this information? And also the AI agents being deployed on the inside are not posing threats of sabotage themselves. So here's an example of the type of system we're building. And to be clear, this is just one tiny part of it. We have already built a intra-accelerator bandwidth limiter. This means that inside a data center, we're restricting the bandwidth of communication between the accelerators. This is important because you want to be able to enforce encryption to protect the data privacy of various information that is being put into an AI system. As well as if it were in fact the case that an AI was trying to escape from the data center, for example, to exploit its own weights or to collaborate with a malicious actor on the outside, we need to be able to restrict the bandwidth it can use for that communication. I'm seeing I'm about at time, so feel free to ask more about this later if it's interesting. I want to end with reaching security level 5 is really hard. We're maybe 3 years late, but I think humanity needs to get this right to avoid AI falling into the wrong hands without security precautions in place. We can still make it if we try really hard, and definitely we can slow down adversaries a lot. I believe the majority of gains from AI for all of humanity are in the future if we secure it. Thank you.